Greetings Commanders, welcome to the second video for the play of the season of the Red Alert Global League Season 4. I hope my camera won't film me, because it happened a couple times in the previous video. So let's hope nothing goes wrong and we can enjoy these nominations without interruptions. So, the 8th nominee, it is Omnom, also a well-known, very strong player. I believe he plays against Mentats, who is also known as Booby, and they both. This game was played in a minion league, and well, Omnom is definitely one of the guys who could be able to play in the Master League. Here, a little skirmish. Booby placed a dog next to the oil, but Omnom was pretty smart. However, Omnom had sent in 2 grenadiers. It was the 2 first infantry units that he had built, and he sent them to the sides. On the minimap you can see they take position. Booby later sent some infantry to guard off the entry points, but the grenadiers were already there, so they're snuck up behind in the base. A flag comes out for Mentats, but easy kill. So this time there have been a couple skirmishes very much in favor of Omnom. Also, as you can see, Mentats cannot see the 2 grenadiers who are in the base, and I've switched to Omnom, to Booby's, to Mentats' vision, so you can see what it's like for him. The grenadiers come in, throw in some grenadiers, and at the same time Omnom attacked from the north, and well, the service depot is over there, so Mentats is very vulnerable, he has to defend it, but at the same time we have those grenadiers throwing their grenades, and power plant is down, and rocket infantry, it's a bit unfortunately that he was building rocket infantry, because the rocket infantry was not able to kill the grenadier, and the grenadier in turn destroyed the barracks. APC comes out, but there is enough flame of rocket infantry for Omnom, and Mentats is forced to let the harvesters crush. And this is, well, it's very well executed by Omnom. Mentats basically picked apart, he has lost already buildings, has to rebuild the barracks. The harvesters are not mining at this time, and not only they're not mining, he's actually losing 2 of them. Omnom decides to retreat, but he has done tremendous damage. It was a very nice, very well executed attack. And usually these early skirmishes don't really end up in a score, but this one is devastating. MCV is coming. Barracks, flame towers, classic base push to finish this game off. So Omnom was nominated as the 8th nominee for his very strong early play that really picked apart Mentats' game. And Mentats, aka Booby, is quite a good player as well. He's played some very long and interesting games, and yeah, he's definitely one you should not underestimate, because if you do, you'll instantly lose. And the next nomination is from the second game from Omnom versus Booby, and this time the nomination is for Booby's good dog. I'm just not gonna say too much, and I'm just gonna let you guys watch it. It's a short nomination and it's a fun one. Let's switch to the view of Omnom. He sees Booby's dog walking in, just scouting. You can see his color is slightly different, slightly different green. Omnom has a dog as well, and they attack each other and bug out. But meant that he has one hell of a dog. He even managed to eat an infantry while attacking another dog. Down goes another infantry. If that is not a good dog, then I wouldn't know what is. The harvester joins. Well, no, it doesn't join. And Booby's dog ends up winning. He tries to be crushed, but dogs are smart, and he finally gets killed. So, well, small nomination for Booby, just because it was so nice and fun how his dog bugged out, but it was a great bug, and he killed 2 infantry and the dog he was fighting. Well, what a dog. Okay, next one. It's Barf, and again 5 aces. Wow, it's almost getting tedious how often he is nominated, but I can't help it. He just has really good games. He has an interesting 2 ranger opener, but Barf, well, Barf doesn't really need that much of an introduction. I think he is seen as perhaps the second best player after Lorry Driver, and well, he is famous for his huge armies, and he decides to camp the Orfield in 5 aces main, and he does so pretty successfully, and he has a flamer drop. What an artillery shot, destroying 3 of them instantly. The Hind also picks off another 2. War Factory's almost down, and Barf wants to destroy it, as that would be the, well, probably the moment when 5 aces should give up. 5 ace has a couple artillery, but with a flag so close by. Nope. And Barf decides that he's gonna attack the War Factory only, because it just has so little health. Just one more rocket. Well, okay, one more. No, one more. It has a fraction of health left, but it's not down. And Barf is getting a little bit frustrated, perhaps. He sends in the harvester to tank with some infantry behind it, but somehow he is unable to destroy the War Factory. And, well, it has cost him a lot, and he just didn't manage to destroy actually destroy the War Factory. So, although the camping of the Orfield is a big success, this nail in the coffin that wasn't delivered might actually be costly. And if you look on the minimap, 5 aces has an expansion over there. So by now, an engineer entered the War Factory and had repaired it. Barf sends in a tank, but to his horror, he discovers that the War Factory is as new. Wow. Nice little attack by Barf all the way in the south. 5 aces doesn't notice, so that could be a strong one. Fast forward a little bit, and in comes the attack. many Hinds are being shut down. Well played by Barf, or well played by, by both. It's been very costly with all the Hinds being shut down, but it did repel the attack. So overall I would say it is a win for 5 aces, as he can afford to lose those Hinds, and for Barf that attack had to be successful in order to stay in the game. The parry bumps unfortunately missed their target. And there's a group of infantry that butchers the entire infantry blob of 5 aces. So very dynamic game, very scrappy game. This could have been a win for Barf long ago if he wasn't that unlucky. But by now, on first sight you wouldn't say that he's really behind. If you look on the mini-map, he's actually all over the map. He's got excellent map presence. But in terms of military, he is way behind, and I don't believe anywhere on the map he has some kind of potential. So that's over there he has he has quite the army, yet not enough to actually put a dent into 5 aces main base. 5 aces decides he no longer wants to be camped over there and sets up his own construction yard there. Shells running down on the barracks. The yak immediately gets picked off. Okay, so well, this is a nomination for 5 aces for barely being able to save his war factory, just with a couple points of hit points. And Barf was very brave, sending in waves after waves, perhaps even being a bit desperate to kill the war factory. He couldn't, and well, in the end 5 aces overturned the game. I believe NetNetSchool called this the save of the season, and that's an appropriate name, I think. Nominee number 11, that's Smitty. Smitty, who ended up in the top 4, is also playing against Barf. Both are fearsome players, but Barf has a little edge, and this was a game that was pretty balanced. Both players had their attacks. Also in terms of development, technology, it was pretty equal. But then Smitty came up with a great move. Over there we see a Chinook, and it's full of rocket soldiers. And so what do if you're if the game is balanced? You try to find a weak spot, try to find a place for a special operation, and Smitty decides to drop some units in the back, and we'll see if that works out. Here they go. The Chinook is placed above the water, so it won't land, and is used for vision. One harvester down. I believe before this attack the harvester count was something like 10 to 7, something like that. So Smitty did have a couple more harvesters already, but it was quite even. And as you can see, both are doing just fine. And in goes Smitty with the Chinook full of rocket infantry for the kill. Yeah. Well, it was 10 to 8 apparently. So it's 10 to 7 now. Rocket infantry drops, and this is a day in the park for them. One harvester down, another harvester down, third harvester down, fourth also going down, and that fifth harvester is getting away. And well, because I love power bombs, I wanted to show this as well. But these 10 rocket infantry killed 5 harvesters, and well, it's very difficult to overcome that. And Smitty ended up winning that and ending up winning the best of 5 with that game. So this nomination was more worth than just one game. It won in the game in the playoff series. Next one is also a interesting one. It's Kazoo, and he plays on Pit Fight, his map, which is of course a bit of a psychological advantage, as the opponent might think that the creator of the map knows all sneaky tricks on the map. That's not really true, but the psychological advantage is there. There's no denying that. And Kazoo, he builds quite a lot of units, including some rocket infantry, and well, that puts quite a strain on his early economics. And he plays this game, I believe it's against I actually forgot against who. Was it Blackhand? Sarge? Ah, well, no, sorry, I forgot who he is playing against. But whoever he is playing against is probably a bit surprised, as he hasn't encountered any units yet. This was the first encounter, and he feels pretty confident as he has the hospital, he has some oil. Pretty much everything is going pretty fine. But Kazoo has something in his mind. He has bigger plans. There's grenadiers, they're all the way in the top. And there's this small but pretty strong army. A flame tower is placed, so again the production has to restart, and that gives Kazoo the opportunity to bring in the grenadiers, pick off those power plants as we've seen the grenadiers do before. APC comes in, perfect timing. The power plant is gone and the APC barely survives. On the other side we see one harvester getting picked off by the small army. And this is a nomination to show how good some early attacks can be if you plan them right and if you execute them just right. And part of this is the careful planning by watching games of your opponents, coming up with a good plan that suits the map, and of course you gotta know if you can execute it, like if there is enough starting, or if there is not too much distance between the two armies. So the attack is over. It has cost 2 harvesters. A power plant was down, and I wouldn't say the game is won by Kazoo, but Kazoo does have a big advantage. So yeah, well played early game. This is the micro I was looking for when I started the play of the season, and Kazoo showed us just that. Excellent game. Alright, and the next nomination is War Riker versus Bully. It was played in the Path of the Hidden Master, I believe. So both these players had won their recruit division and they had to battle each other. And both are definitely quality players who can easily maintain themselves in the Minion League, and I guess they will in the next season. And War Riker in red decides to camp the Orfield. Strong move, well-known move. but Bully has lots and lots of units, and he tries to fend off this attack. The Yaks rain down their bullets on the infantry, very strong. Combined with the ground forces, they managed to repel the attack. 2 Teslas deny the mining from that ore patch. And fast forward a whole lot. Bully has 2 expansions out. Warriker does have a construction yard, but Bully is already there, and he bullies away Warriker's construction yard. He does survive, which is pretty nice. So the flock of hinds from Warriker, they pick up the construction yard. Yep. So if we take a second to analyze this game, Warriker was huge on attack. He had been attacking up as fast as he could, while Bully was more or less just expanding. Not really taking up yet. And well, another flock of hinds picking up some power plants. So this was a nice non-mirrored game, if you guys understand what I mean by that. It was non-mirrored in the strategy that was chosen. Warriker on one hand, up in attack, Bully on the other hand, mostly expanding and gathering lower tier units. And those are the most fun matches to watch, in my opinion. I like asymmetrical battles. Small attack coming in from the north on Warriker. And if you look at the minimap, Bully is basically all over the map. He has expansions everywhere, and the only thing Warriker is going for him is the camping of the ore field, which is pretty big, and the tech. And I recall watching this game and calling the win for Warriker. It was a guess, but I just had the idea that he was doing fine and that Bully's game could fall apart if he wasn't careful. But it was, well, a lucky guess. Bully rebuilds his construction yard, tries to keep Warriker from mining, and we missed it actually, but there was an engineer that captured the refinery, tried to capture some more, but he was killed afterwards. In come the X, but the AA is powered up. 3 X shut down, 2 more, and another, and this was very costly. I'm not sure if that was worth the Yaks. It did destroy the construction yard, which is big, because Bully was rebuilding there all the time, and he is no longer able to do that unless, as there is no war factory, it would cost quite some time to get back there. Nice paradrops on the harvesters, and meanwhile Warriker is destroying the entire main with just 2 ranked up V2s. Bully is getting desperate, tries to base push, but Warriker has the Iron Curtain and he has some higher tier units to push back. Not much left in the main. Warriker has overtook him there. The nuke is up. And well, if you looked at the economical stats some time ago, you'll see that Bully definitely had a big advantage in terms of economy, map control. But Warriker did a really good job in holding on and overturning the game. Definitely one of the stronger games and very entertaining one to watch. Last desperate attempt. Forces amass. MCV is even brought in. And immediately the pillbox is placed next to the ore refinery that is still present in the main. But there are some mammoth tanks, the V2, Iron Curtain. Artillery is not yet sniped. A very nice AA gun, but it's not enough to prevent the axe from destroying the construction yard. Fast forward, and Bully is about to resign as he is his bases, his units are not really connected anymore. There is no structure in them. Bully probably has a hard time managing them all. That single V2 is still picking up constructions. Yeah, a really strong win by Warriker, and I'm curious how his game will develop. And also, Bully is a really good player, and I hope to see him more often. Okay, and the final nomination, finally, I would say, it's Gatekeeper again versus Barf, and this is played on the map that I forgot the name of. Wow, my brains are pretty slow today, but oh my god, I've been recording almost all day because the stupid camera quitted so often. So in this game, Barf gets a big advantage early on, wins a bunch of skirmishes, quickly dominates the field, has many expansions out. Here, Gatekeeper's army gets destroyed. It was a huge army seconds ago, but it's nothing anymore. Small counterattack, but a strong attack that requires a response. And well, Barf did something smart. He placed a turret next to the ore field to make the mining more difficult. Hind immediately gets shut down. Quite expensive attack for Barf, this was. But Barf also has an army up its sleeve, as Barf always has. And he attacks Gatekeeper. And well, this game also was very entertaining. As you can see, there's also an army attacking, and this is a typically Barf versus Gatekeeper game. There are armies all over the place attacking from one side, player has to respond, and at the same time there's another attack going on and he counterattacks there. Well, it's that's what makes these guys so entertaining to watch. And well, big army by Barf. He keeps dominating the map, also expanding in the southeast. The MCV is being attacked by a small group. small group, but enough to force it to retreat. Hind goes around and picks it off. Well done. And in this game, Gatekeeper was nominated because in the start he was very much behind. If you look on the minimap there, he has not that much going for him, and if he wants to win this game, he really has to overcome a lot, and he has to come from far and from deep. The Hinds pick off a lot, but Gatekeeper will overtake this game, so that's it's going to be interesting to see how he did it. And it's even hard for me to analyze how he exactly did it, because Barf doesn't do too much things wrong. Over here he lets the MCV escape. Perhaps sending in even one tank behind it would have been enough, or one of the Hinds. But this was a slightly painful blow. The army is completely gone, while Gatekeeper still has an army. Gatekeeper is quick to rebuild his construction yard. Again, place an ore refinery and continue harvesting as he was. Still, it's a very close fight and an uphill battle for Gatekeeper, I believe. Yep, and we had another little camera crash. Joy. So, the game is progressing, and Gatekeeper is starting to gain some ground as well. He is attacking the main expansion in the center. Tanya is built, but Gatekeeper has 4 tanks in a row. And here Barf builds a chrono tank. Could be useful, but after the game some of the stronger players that were spectating as well kind of, well, criticized or ridiculed Barf, as the chrono tanks really didn't do that much. He, well, obviously they do some crushes and they shoot a couple of rockets at the tanks, but they quickly get picked off, and well, those units are very expensive, and the spectators pretty much said that perhaps Barf should stick to those lower tier units, which is of course just a bit of joking. He knows his way around with the tech units as well, and I wouldn't taunt him into getting just proficient with those as well, because that would leave open array to be dominated by Barf for a long time. This is a nice attack by Barf. Tanya is out there, and here Gatekeeper suicides some of his Hinds into the crowd, killing Tanya, I believe, and a whole lot of more infantry. Was it worth it? Hard to say, but the army has to retreat, so in that view it might have been worth it, but in terms of money I wouldn't be able to tell you. Nice attack for Gatekeeper. And gone is the army. And so by now Barf's in a difficult position. He doesn't have that much military units anymore to fend off this attack, so this is very fun for Gatekeeper. Just pick off some buildings, pick off a Hind, I believe, right when it's built. And once an army has this momentum, it's impossible to push back. Well, Tanya is there, and she is one of the possible counters against such an army. she's able to just destroy all the infantry, and then hopefully you got some counter against tanks as well, and that's a unit that can stop such a momentum. But there's no Tanya over here. Gatekeeper demolishes any defenses left. We have the tech center over here, and GPS was, well, almost coming up, less than a minute remaining. But Gatekeeper finds it and destroys it right in time. Yeah, if you look at the minimap, this game is lost. So another nomination for Gatekeeper. A player who has been nominated tons of times for his nice play style, and this one was a bit out of the ordinary for him. His nominations are usually a little bit different, but this one was one where he was hanging in the ropes and he managed to come back. Nice suicide attacks, but it's definitely not enough. Barf knows it, he says GG, well done, great game. Okay, so there have been 14 nominations, and you can go to the Red Alert Global League website, which is ragl.org. Sign up there, go to the forum and find the thread, and you'll be able to vote on 3 of your favorite games. Also, while you're at it, consider signing up for the 5th season of the Red Alert Global League, which will be tons of fun. And I'm gonna end up with a small sad note, because I've been doing this for 3 seasons with a lot of joy, but unfortunately my time is getting more and more limited, and I just no longer have the time to capture all these games and make the video, and it just takes too much time. So I hope someone else takes over, or just keep reading the battlefield reports that are written by Netna School, or just watch the many channels that showcase these RAGL games. So thanks for watching. Head to the ragl.org website, vote for your favorite play of the season, and thanks lots for watching, and see you guys on Battlefield. Bye bye.